In Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the Golems are a series of creatures that range from challenge ratings 9 to 16, excluding the Flesh Golem. The Flesh Golem, while being similar, is an undead construct and not as fitting with the overall theme of these other creatures. The Clay Golem has an AC of 14 and 133 hit points, as well as many immunities to conditions and different types of damage. They regain hit points from acid damage and have a Berserker trait that when at 60 HP or lower will be triggered by rolling a 6 on a d6. Once Berserk, it attacks whoever or whatever is closest to it. It is immune to anything that would alter its form and is resistant to magic overall. It makes 2 slam attacks dealing 2d10 plus 5 damage on a hit, which is a range of 7 to 25 damage per attack. In addition, the attack leads to a con save that, if failed, reduces the player's max hit points by the same damage. This effect does not go away on a rest, and requires the use of a greater restoration or similar magical effect. The Golem also has a rechargeable action that gives it the effects of the haste spell without any negative effects, though only until the end of its next turn. The Stone Golem has an AC of 17, 178 hit points, and similar resistances, minus the healing on acid. They also make 2 slam attacks that do 3d8 plus 6, a range of 9 to 38 damage per strike. They also have a rechargeable action, Slow, that targets all players within 10 feet of the Golem. If they fail the DC 17 Wisdom save, they cannot use reactions and must only use an action or bonus action on their turn. The Iron Golem has an AC of 20 and 210 hit points with similar resistances to the others. They can heal from fire damage, a much more common type of damage than acid, and they have a slam attack that deals 3d8 plus 7. They also have a sword with a plus 13 to hit and a reach of 10 feet. On a hit, it deals 3d10 plus 7 damage. They can also exhale poison breath in a 15-foot cone as a rechargeable action. All creatures in the area must make a DC 19 con save, or else take 10d8 damage on a failure or half as much on a success. The Golems are powerful creatures, yet deceptively simple to play. As a DM, I believe that the strategy is one of hitting the players. The Golems are constructs created to act under the orders of their creators. They do not have a mind for strategy themselves. If they were on their own, they would simply attack whoever is closest, or whoever is dealing them the most damage. But if their master is nearby, they would act out of protection and following orders. Still, they do know how to fight. I would have them use their recharge abilities anytime they're up to keep players on their toes, using the AoE abilities on groups of players and the slam or sword attacks on individuals that get too close. The Golems in D&D are heavily based on golems from traditional Jewish folklore. In Psalms and in medieval texts, the golems are described as large men made from inanimate material, most commonly clay. They are usually brought to life by way of Hebrew inscriptions on the exterior or interior of the body, or by a Shem, one of the names of God, written on a paper placed inside the golem's mouth or body. Tales of golems have existed throughout history, with some of the earliest being in the 12th and 13th centuries. All of the tales of golems speak to the human desire to create, and in that creation becoming closer to God. Most golem stories involve themes of creativity, control, power, and salvation by way of being closer to God. However, many modern scholars also point out that a great many golem stories are cautionary tales against war, isolationism, and despair. Possibly the most famous of golem stories is that of the Golem of Prague, in which the Rabbi Judah Lo ben Bezalel created a golem using clay and brought it to life using Hebrew rituals. The story then changes depending on the time period in which it is told or the person telling it. In some versions, the Jews in Prague were about to be expelled or killed and the golem saves them. In others, it comes to life and falls in love with a human, becoming rejected and going on a rampage until a Shem is removed from its mouth. No matter the particulars of the tale itself, the general outline is this. Rabbi Lo creates a golem to become closer to God and understand creation. Something not so great happens, either with the golem as an antagonist or a protagonist, and the Shem is eventually removed. The most likely original tale is the one about the Jews of Prague being attacked. In this story, the golem becomes something behind which the Jewish community can rally, and they shake off the threats of their oppressors and become a closer community to each other and to God. The Shem is eventually removed, and the golem lies dormant until such a day as it is needed again to rally the people to a common good cause. When comparing the myth to the creature, we find that they're pretty much the same, especially in the case of the clay golem. All golems in D&D are created from inanimate material and turned into living creations that exist to follow the instructions of their creators. Where the myth and the creature deviate is in their overall purpose. Obviously in D&D, creatures are meant to be something players fight, whereas the golem in myth is a lesson about community, good versus evil, the joys and pitfalls of creation, and the hubris of man. If you enjoyed that video, consider giving it a like and giving me a follow. And for more of my videos, you can find me on Twitch at Moglaroo, YouTube at Moglaroo Streams, and TikTok at Moglaroo Streams as well.